Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Innovation Alley. We're your hosts. I'm TowelManPurple.
I'm Bjorn.
And today we have both different takes on Emerald Steel that we have brought to the table after being in the lab for so long, putting these different ingredients in these test tubes and making brand new decks. All right. So I'm going to kick us off today with Emerald Steel, the one-sided Be Prepared. We have 4 one-cost Diablo. Okay, it gets to see the opponent's hand when it enters the play. So I am able to get inside information in turn 1 and know how to construct my turns after that. And if you can construct them in such a manner, then you can set up this little combo that we have in here. We also have one-cost Robin Hood, which, just like Diablo, also has a shift line. So we obviously play 3-cost Diablo because of the card advantage that it can nets for the deck. And the 5-cost Robin Hood that shifts for 3 because of multiple advantages. The fact that it's got a 6 toughness in a meta that's full of steel decks. The fact that when it challenges profitably and banishes a character, that it gains you 2 lore. And when it's banished in a challenge, it will also net you a card. So a whole bunch of benefits there. Then we also have Morph. Now Morph says that any of your shift targets can shift onto Morph. So not only do we have the Diablo and the Robin Hood shift line, but we also have the Tragic Hero Beast, which allows us to draw more cards. We also have Tinkerbell, which is a big threat into these decks that have a lot of characters, right? It gets to ping everybody for 1, and when it banishes something in a challenge, it also does 2 damage to another target character, which is insane. And then we have Prince Philip, the shift 6/6, it's a shifts for 6, a quest for 3, but this character, it's evasive, and when it enters play, you banish all opposing damaged characters. So whether you have played Tinkerbell previously, or any shift target after having an established Chief BOGO, which says whenever you play a Floodborn, it deals 1 damage to each opposing character, that means that the Prince Philip essentially becomes a one-sided Be Prepared, hence the name of the deck.
Wow.
Now, we also play 2-drop Calhoun because it is essentially another Robin Hood, has resist 1, 3/2, and when it banishes something in a challenge, you gain 2 lore, right? Then the 2-cost Smee, 2-cost 3/3, quest for 2, great stat line, great questing power. It's pretty good. And then 3-cost Prince Philip. It's a 3/2 with Ward, might I add, that quests for 2. Now, why is Prince Philip important here? Because if you go in turn sequence, turn 3 Prince Philip, turn 4 Chief BOGO, whatever you want to do on turn 5 that is profitable or advantageous for your deck, and then being able to Prince Philip shift on turn 6 means you get to Wrath or wipe away and banish all the characters on the opponent's side of the game. So, as long as Chief BOGO is protected, then we are in really good standing. Okay? So that's the characters of the deck. Let's move on to the songs. We have 4 Let the Storm Rage On, which 2 damage, draw a card. We love drawing cards. 4 Strength of a Raging Fire. We have enough characters for that to be relevant here. 3 I Find 'em, I Flatten 'em. Because, let's be honest, man, Blue Steel, Sapphire Steel rather, happens to be the most popular deck in the meta. And if that's the most popular deck, and they are just spewing items out as much as possible, we need a way to deal with them. If not, we're going to get left in the dust. And then, because Sapphire Steel is such an important deck in the meta, and Ruby Sapphire is also an important deck in the meta, and they draw so many cards, that a whole new world becomes something that is advantageous by getting rid of the all of the X amount of cards in their hand being more than what we have. So if we are like down to 2 or 3 cards and your opponent still has 7 or 8 cards, wheeling them hurts them more than it hurts you. Because they're still going to get 7, but you're refilling and refueling your hand so that way you can continue battling on in the game.
Yeah.
So
a whole new world means whole new hands, and you just reset the game there so both are on an even playing field. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, even Pokemon players, they have this card called Professor's Research, When you play this card, you discard your hand and you draw 7 new cards. And let me tell you, every single deck in that game pretty much plays that card. It's for a reason. The card's good. Whole New World still has some life in it. Don't let anybody else fool you. So that is my take on Emerald Steel with a little bit of a combo in it. Now, let's move on over to Bjorn's take on Emerald Steel, where he has yet another 0 character version of this deck. Take us away, Bjorn. Tell us about it.
Well, last time I had this epiphany, and this time I'm still on the crazy train.
All
0
right.
characters. We don't need those where we're going, right?
I love it.
We got some damage things like Fire the Cannons and Baboom and Double Trouble. Just some pings here and there. Improvise is just to draw through the deck, really. Night Howler Rage also draws a card, but makes something gain Reckless, so great for against aggro decks. Ring the Bell, we can banish anything as long as it's damaged, and we have lots of ways to ping stuff. So a big Tamatoa or whatever it is, we can't just ping down with ping damage, we can just ring the bell. Pack Tactics, again lore. If there's a bunch of characters with damage on them, maybe because we ping them or some other reason, we ping. Just gain some lore.
So, gotta win the game, right?
Yep, gotta win the game. For songs, again, these are the same as actions for us, since we have 0 characters, we're not singing them, but they're still worth paying for, right? Because Heffalumps and Woozles says you draw a card and chosen character can't quest, so this is pretty good, right? Like
Buying us time.
Opponent loses lore, we just gain a card back, strike a good match, just filter through the deck, draw 2, discard 1, it's pretty good. The Storm Rage on, deal 2 damage and draw a card. You're welcome. Shuffle any character, item, or location into their player's deck, and that player draws 2 cards. So you can of course get rid of anything you want from the opponent's side, or if you have a little item or location on your side that you don't really want anymore, suddenly it gets turned into 2 cards. Pretty good if you ask me.
It's interesting. I like it.
Yeah, we do have items and locations, a couple of them, For items we have Airfoil, of course, which if you play 2 or more items, 2 or more actions in a single turn, you get to draw a card with Airfoil every single turn. And, we got a lot of cheap actions that also half of them draw us new cards as well, so we're going to have no problem fulfilling that criteria, let me tell you.
Just 44 of them. No biggie.
Vision Slab. As long as there's a damaged character in play, first off, they can't be healed, and also we gain a lore at the start of our turn for each Vision Slab. There's also something that can just bump our lore up a little bit.
Wait, the damage can't be transferred either. So you can't use like 5-cost Bell. Yeah.
Absolutely. Damage counters can't be removed, so literally nothing in the entire game can make that damage disappear, as long as you have one of these out.
That's interesting.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of locations. We got Deville Manor here, just because we have probably nothing else to play on turn 1 anyway, and just an early location can mean that you will gain some lore until the opponent beats it down, and while your opponent is beating it down, the opponent is not questing, buying you time yet again. And then we have the big guns. Owl Island. The first part of the card is not relevant to us. We're not going to have any characters there, but the second part doesn't require any characters. The second part just says, whenever you play the second action in a turn, gain 3 lore.
That's
yeah.
That's something.
Can you at home tell me if we are able to play 2 characters, 2 actions in a single turn? The answer is yes.
So So as long as we're able to keep this location alive, this location is winning us the game, is what you're telling me.
Absolutely, and I mean, honestly, I mean, if you're up in like the late game, you could probably just play Owl Island for 3, and then play like an action for 1 and another action for 2, and then it doesn't need to survive. You can just use it the same turn you put it down. You know?
Right, exactly. That's insane. I love it.
It is insane. I tested it. It works. It works. I swear.
So you have Vision Slab for lore gain, the locations for lore gain, and pack tactics for lore gain.
Yep. Pack tactics in a pinch. Bit expensive, but it works.
Yeah, so we actually have a decent amount of ways to gain lore.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, I can dig it. Airfoil, Owl Island, they go hand in hand. They both require the same type of, contingency.
Two
To
actions
activate.
in a turn, and
Yep.
which is again, if you look at our actions right here, not gonna be difficult.
No, not at all. Well, there you have it. Emerald Steel, 0 actions, and Emerald Steel, 1-sided, be prepared.
Well, 0 characters and all actions, pretty much.
Oh, 0 characters, all actions. My bad. So there's only 44 actions, all right? There's none. There's 0 of them.
Oh yeah.
0 characters.
We're
44
a
actions.
little bit discombobulated over here because
Yeah.
we've just overused our brains cooking in the kitchen, you know?
Oh, this is true. So, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel down below. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you like about the decks, what you don't like. And maybe if you have some added preservatives to maybe change these decks up a little bit, or if there's something that you want us to put out in our next video. We'd love to hear back from you guys. We do it for you. Until the next one, keep innovating.